Here are the most recent deaths in the national news, as reported at Legacy.com in the fourth week of October 2025. Visit Legacy.com to read full obituaries for most of the people featured in this video and leave your own condolences on their Legacy page. Musician Dave Ball died October 22, 2025 at his home in London. He died after a period of declining health at the age of 66. He was half of the chart-topping new wave duo Soft Cell, creating hits like Tainted Love and Say Hello, Wave Goodbye alongside lead singer Mark Almond. Ball is being remembered for helping jumpstart a synth-pop revolution in the 1980s with his innovative sounds. Actress June Lockhart died October 23, 2025 at her home in Santa Monica, California. She died of natural causes at the age of 100. She was a beloved TV mom, first in the 1950s as Timmy's mother on Lassie, and again in the 1960s on Lost in Space, where she played the capable and loving Dr. Maureen Robinson. Lockhart is being remembered for a long and varied career, with roles in movies and TV shows like Petticoat Junction, A Christmas Carol, Meet Me in St. Louis, General Hospital, and many others. Football player Nick Mangold died October 25, 2025 of complications from chronic kidney disease at the age of 41. He was a center for the New York Jets for his entire 11-season NFL career, a 7-time Pro Bowl pick who is widely considered one of the best centers of his time. Mangold is also being remembered for his college career at Ohio State, where he was a first-team All-American in his senior year and helped his team to victory at the Fiesta Bowl. Actor Tony Adams died October 25, 2025 at the age of 84. He starred as Adam Chance in the UK soap opera Crossroads from 1978 to 1988, then returned for the show's 2001 revival. Adams is also being remembered for starring in the British General Hospital soap opera and for other TV appearances including Doctor Who. Musician Jack DeJohnette died October 26, 2025 at a hospital in Kingston, New York. He died of congestive heart failure at the age of 83. He was one of the great jazz drummers of the 1960s and beyond, playing with Miles Davis on Bitches Brew and other albums, as well as with greats like McCoy Tyner, Stan Getz, Chick Corea, and many others. DeJohnette is also being remembered for his work as a solo artist, composer, and bandleader. His versatile style was free-ranging and unmistakable. Football player George Atkinson died October 27, 2025 in Georgia at the age of 78. He was a safety for the Oakland Raiders in the 1960s and 70s, a 2-time AFL All-Star who helped his team to victory at Super Bowl XI. Atkinson is being remembered as the last surviving member of the Raiders' formidable Soul Patrol defense of the 1970s. Actress Prunella Scales died October 27, 2025 at her home in London. She died after fighting Alzheimer's disease at the age of 93. She was a legend of British TV thanks to her starring role in Fawlty Towers. She played Sybil Fawlty, who loved to boss around her husband, played by John Cleese, as they owned a hotel together. Scales is also being remembered for her work with her late husband, Timothy West, including their travel documentary series, Great Canal Journeys. Actor Björn Andrésen died October 25, 2025 at the age of 70. Hailing from Sweden, he was best known for his role in Death in Venice as a teenager. He was called the most beautiful boy in the world, though he disliked the moniker. Andrésen is also being remembered for a small but powerful role in the horror movie Midsummer. Rabbi Alvin Kass died October 29, 2025 at the age of 89. He was a chaplain with the New York Police Department for 60 years, the longest-serving chaplain in NYPD history and the department's first 3-star chaplain. Kass is being remembered for his guidance after the terrorist attacks on September 11, 2001, and for a memorable incident in which he helped defuse a hostage situation with a pastrami sandwich. Disc jockey Pierre Robert died October 29, 2025 at his home at the age of 70. He was a legend of Philadelphia radio, playing rock music on WMMR for more than 40 years. Robert is being remembered for his positivity, for championing local musicians, and for his annual Thanksgiving show featuring multiple spins of Alice's Restaurant. Four people were killed in a helicopter crash last Wednesday in eastern Montana. Those who died include the son of Illinois gubernatorial candidate Darren Bailey, as well as his daughter-in-law and 2 grandchildren. Their names are Zachary Bailey, Kelsey Bailey, Veda Rose Bailey, Samuel Bailey. Before we continue with this week's anniversaries, let me just say that some of the loveliest obituaries we saw this week at Legacy weren't for celebrities, but for everyday people like you and me. Those include this beloved Pennsylvania husband and father who found joy in gardening and whose loved ones called him a supernova of good energy and the kindest neighbor I ever knew. This 98-year-old great-grandmother who was born on a farm in Wyoming but fell in love with Alaska, where she became known as a great fisherwoman. And this U.S. Navy veteran of the Korean War who went on to become a pillar of the community, supporting many charitable organizations in his town of Kalamazoo, Michigan. At Legacy.com, any family can publish an obituary in honor of a loved one's memory, online and in local newspapers everywhere. Just visit Legacy.com and select your local community. In addition to featuring current deaths in the news, Legacy.com also honors the lives and legacies of notable people who died in the past. Here are some of this week's anniversaries. 1 year ago this week, actress Terry Garr died at the age of 79. She was Oscar-nominated for her performance in Tootsie, and her other notable movies included Young Frankenstein, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and Mr. Mom. 2 years ago this week, actor Matthew Perry died at the age of 54. He was one of the biggest sitcom stars of the 1990s and 2000s, thanks to his starring role as Chandler Bing on Friends. 5 years ago this week, actor Sean Connery died at the age of 90. He was the beloved star of 7 James Bond films, won an Academy Award for his performance in The Untouchables, and appeared in many other movies like Marnie and The Hunt for Red October. 25 years ago this week, TV host and comedian Steve Allen died at the age of 78. He revolutionized late-night television as the creator and first host of The Tonight Show. Actor and comedian John Candy was born 75 years ago this week. He died in March 1994 at the age of 43. He got his start in sketch comedy with The Second City and was hilarious in movies like Splash, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and Uncle Buck. Every week in the United States, flags are lowered to half-staff to honor the lives of Americans whose communities are mourning their loss. Here are the most recent half-staff memorial flag honors. Flags in Iowa have been lowered to honor the memory of State Senator Claire Celsi. Flags in Maine have been lowered in remembrance of the victims and to honor the survivors of the shooting in Lewiston 2 years ago. Flags in California have been lowered to honor the memory of San Bernardino County Sheriff's Deputy Andrew Nunes, who died in the line of duty. Flags in Idaho have been lowered to honor the memory of former U.S. Congressman Richard Stallings. Flags in Wyoming have been lowered to honor the memory of former Secretary of State Kathy Carpin. You can read more about the lives of the people featured in this video on Legacy.com. Follow Legacy.com on Instagram and Facebook, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube to stay up to date on national news deaths.